all at home together, I know that there's definitely a lot more housework in my house. Just the cooking from having 2 kids at home all the time. Also, we've got some rainfall reports in. Audrey from Bensdale, 1.5 mils, and Andy from Wonthaggi, 16.5 mils. You are on ABC Gippsland on this Saturday morning. It is just absolutely splendid to be hanging out with you. Now, how are you feeling at the moment? Because the world is still beautiful, but there are definitely some strange feelings around. What do you miss at the moment? I miss people and connection. It's such a strange feeling when you go out and about now, just to the supermarket or wherever you have to go, and people just feel so disconnected the way we walk with such a distance to each other. Oh, that really gets me. That gets, I always have a little cry when I get back from the supermarket, actually. But there are still beautiful, beautiful things in the world. And Tams Hess from Hayfield is an expert at capturing those bittersweet human moments. She makes poetry art, beautiful illustrations that wind around a poem, and her words are like a soothing walk in a rainforest. So let's all have a deep breath and relax with Hayfield's Tams and her thoughtful art. Good morning, Tams.
Hi there, Mim. How are you doing?
Good. Tams, could we start by, if you could just read us a couple of lines of your poetry that wraps around your art?
Oh, thank you. No problem. There's so many to choose from. It's like where to start. But
you are prolific.
Yeah, lucky dip into it, I think. So
do it.
To start a new life, you have to be brave and give the other one away.
Yeah, can you keep going? Do another one now as well. So just so people can get an image,
okay.
Tams does this watercolour painting, and then a 1 or 2 lines of a poem kind of weave through it.
With all of your open heart, keep believing that what you truly want in life wants you to.
Now, that's beautiful, Tams.
Thank you.
Now, your poems, all of them, I remember I was sitting in a cafe one day and just stumbled upon your poetry and I sat and read all of them. I was having a day where I was feeling kind of philosophical about the world, and it was extremely lovely. Now, when reading your words, I can just feel, and I'm sure our listeners can feel, that you have this deep care for humanity. Can you tell us about that? Where does that come from, and what does it mean for you?
It's funny you should mention that. I've actually just released a book, and I have the very introduction about where I believe it sort of all stems and comes from. When I was really little, I used to work at markets with my mum, and we would travel a lot around Gippsland for her stretch fabric business, and she would pretty much, tell stories all through our driving to and from each market, and I would listen and sort of just like write down little notes and try and create my own stories from the stories that she had sort of told me. And from there, I'd always sort of been fascinated by beautiful quotes and other people's stories. And then through my dance career, I found it really easy to express myself and emotions through my dance movements. And I think just from that, I've just sort of easily transformed and transferred what I've known through artwork, through words and illustration in that respect.
How powerful do you think words are? So I'm just going to read another of your one-line poems that is through this kind of swirling artwork. It says, "Let's go to all the bright places, just you and I, devouring life, hand in hand as we chase the light." So it's just one sentence, but I feel like you could talk about that line for an hour unpacking it. How powerful are words, and are you able to just unpack any of the sentences that you've read us today and just what you're trying to get across?
I think words are so powerful, and like with the image that I've created as well, the words are very relatable and straightforward, and how I wanted to create the image was very simple also. And so I think those married together really make it an amazing impact in that respect. And I think we forget also that we all have the same stories, but slightly different, of course. But we sometimes think that we're alone and we're the only one experiencing this particular story, when in fact, like, people read my stories and they're like, oh my gosh, you've written this for me. When in fact, you know, another person could read the same thing and take it in a slightly different way. So when people ask me, what does this story mean? I tend not to sort of say much about it, because people understand the story in their own ways. And if they don't understand it, then that story's not for them. They have to sort of keep reading until they find their own piece they can connect to in that respect. But yeah, oh gosh, words and images are just so powerful, as we've known throughout the history of living, basically, and how healing art can be in times like this especially.
We've just got a minute before the news,
yep.
Tams.
No worries.
Is that the aim of your art, partly to heal?
Yeah, my aims, whether through my artwork or other ways, is to help heal and inspire people, ideally through my art and work and images. But if I can't do it in that way, how else can I do that? You know, let me listen to, let me collaborate with something, let me, you know, walk around the hateful community and pick up bags of rubbish, and people be inspired by that and then start picking up rubbish, and then, you know, let me write a letter and encourage other people to write handwritten letters, and suddenly people are sending in photos to me about look what I did, I handwrote this letter. So it's just the little things that mean so much, and my natural way of living inspires a lot of people in that respect. So if I can do it that way, then let me do it that way, because how I live my life and with what I do with stories is
for
very
your time
similar.
this morning. It's
no
beautiful.
worries. Thank you.